Hello, wonderful people. Thank you very much for bearing with us. We are indeed here for our second map. It was Rare Atom to take the first. Not the cleanest, but still pretty nice for them, right? It wasn't super close. But I'm sure they'd want to pick up the nuke here. Their pick very cleanly indeed. A bit of a favorite of Rare Atom as well. One that they have used on that international stage. Nice goosh onto Tank C. Meanwhile, down below, there's a quick little trade that comes in. It's a bit hard to tell who's coming out on top of this one, but they've got Hell control, they've got B control, kind of all over the place right now, like ants, this this Rare Atom side as Advent plants the bomb. So, yeah, going to get a bit problematic, to be honest. The double Julies, they were ready for a rush. Doesn't come their way. They don't have a kit now. They're a man down. Down goes Tanksy with only his 2 HP. So, bar some miracle, I don't think this one's going to happen. The Julie's on the chase. Uh-oh. Maybe this is the miracle. Chaos finds one very cleanly indeed, but cannot follow up. Rare Atom with a nice, easy pistol coming their way.
And that's a great showcase of kind of what Rare Atom's nuke like. It is chaotic, but a lot of teams really, really struggle under the chaos, especially on a map like Nuke, when it's so spaced out, it's so easy to get flanked, it's so easy to lose control time and time again of the map, right? And Rare Atom, they're very good at making these slight kind of, moments of brilliance work so well in their favor. And that was just a classic outside push. It was hectic, it was manic, but it worked wonders. Rare Atom will find the first. There should be a second too. Nice full buy for them. Same can't be said for CatEvil.
No, very true. I mean, generally, as we would expect. It's a pretty popular one as well here on both sides of Nuke, I would say, to go for that third round rifle buy. It's generally just a map that you can get away with a little bit less utility, let's say. Flashes are pretty important, as they always are, but, you know, the smokes especially are just not really that massive. You don't need them. It's nice to have. Nice to, you know, bait out opponent's utility or fake things out, whatever, you know, angle you want to come in with. Jin going to burn his little toes off there, trying to just get down the vent at the perfect time. Bomb's going to go down. I think we're going to have a bit of a boring one, to be honest with you, Nao. I think that CatEvil are going to just hold here and not give any kill bonuses across to the rifles, let alone to those SMGs that are in play. So, yeah, kind of a slow one for us in the second, but it will be Rare Atom getting it.
One of those things I think sort of expected, right? So little what's the table. Hang on. Rodin's found himself a freebie. Should be traded momentarily. And of course, the answer is yes. But did get a little bit closer in terms of, I guess you can take a silver lining here and there. Well, especially just USPSs. Anything is something. So they'll take it. One will go off though. Rare Atom will find themselves quite comfortably a second. And Shell May will fall as well. So up to 2, full response to come through here and now, though, from CatEvil. And this is kind of where things matter the most. This is where we can kind of start to see about what they can bring to the table, I think, right? I think for CatEvil, we did see some real brilliance from them over towards Inferno. And you got to take into account that, of course, once again, this is CT-side Nuke. It's the second most CT-sided map in the pool.
There you are, behind my favorite Ancient.
Your favourite?
I don't know about that. I'm just trying to stir the pot a little bit. It's good, though. I do enjoy it. More so from a playing perspective. I think it's a lot of fun to play. Visually, you know, spectator. I don't know. There's some issues with that map, for sure. Yeah, it is definitely different, which I think is why it's nice to play. It's quite fresh. Jam Young, he ain't messing around, though. No differences for him. It's the same old early frags. He does get traded out, but they'll be happy with a 1-for-1 quite early into this round, especially with the bonus buy.
These all come through, I think, for versus 4. Trade game can be played here by Rare Atom as trying to force their way out towards A. Never mind, jumping down in towards Ven. Bomb down, they can wrap through on towards B, and there's no one there to meet them immediately.
Man. They're, again, just kind of, you know, in the mid-round, in the macro gameplay, really outmaneuvering CatEvil. Mercury going to fall, but this retake is so tough with no kit and no utility to boot. Advent can just run rampant, to be honest. Ronin Baby going to go behind. Oh, no. Mercury and Kaze can't even get the trade. Oh, that is a tough watch, but Rare Atom, again, just mowing through them, and I think this is going to be a trend. If they can get that bomb down, I can see these retakes from CatEvil being very, very bad, to be honest.
I agree. I agree. I think the fact that the Rare Atom are starting to realize early doors they can expose a lot of gaps in the armor of CatEvil here, already for me gets very concerning. I think that's not exactly the position you want to be seeing by any means, because CatEvil, what's cost them 2 out of the 3 rounds so far is the fact that they've just been able to wrap through on towards B with no response and no ability to deny that bomb going down.
5-7. Spraying away. Can be deadly. They've got to be careful here. Mr. Canny's also found ahead. The 5-7 is not fast enough. Kaze, with a bit of pre-fire, will take him down. Advent is kind of low, so, you know, I'm still not quite believing we are finished with this round just yet. One goes down, and in a desperate attempt through the door, I guess kind of did have to take a fight there, was getting encroached from all sides. Mr. Canny, meanwhile, with his kill, is going to hold on to the A1S, but Rare Atom in for a 4th. Continue to string them together, and now we have our favorite question of the day. How far does this go? You know, how much can they keep this going?
Yeah, especially considering that CatEvil won't have anything again to bring into the next. It'll be a very, very janky force buy if they want to go for it, or a pretty decent eco around the M4A1S. It's not exactly a nice scenario to be kind of talking about, and it's kind of the conversation that they'll be having here and now, right? What are we doing towards the next round? We see a couple of players on the kind of the low end of the 2Ks, which means that they can have money to work with off the back of loss bonus. It's just a case of how do they stop Rare Atom trucking along. Doesn't matter what the buy is. How are they able to stop this side who are quite considerably and consistently able to find that space over towards B and make it work in their favor? I mean, it's just been such an easy run for them. As you mentioned, it's the question of how far does this go? How long do they keep letting this happen before they, take a much more aggressive stance? Like, for example, when do we see CatEvil go for a lobby pop? When do they see them go for the early information hunt and try and, find themselves in towards a man advantage to kickstart a round? We'll have to wait and see. Either way, pause to come through, and I think for CatEvil, a good opportunity for them to talk.
All right. Got to see something out of this round, to be honest. CatEvil, for my money, have not shown us an awful lot of anything. You know what I mean? A couple nice individual frags, but as a team, it has been lacking for sure. We're still very early on, Rare Atom, I'm sure they're not that very deep into the playbook or anything like that, but CatEvil, we want to see a bit more out of them. Chaos bailing on the flash. Maybe wanted to go for a push, but bailing on it for sure. Mercury going to eat some nade damage. Jam Young, though, flying off the top of Mini, and he's going to continue just holding W. There's the shot coming in from Mr. Canny. Jin has found Mercury as well. There are trades back, so 3v3 when the dust settles, but again, they found their way down towards B. Maybe a bit too easily. Going to get that bomb planted once again, and we've got another retake attempt from CatEvil.
Numbers level is the nicety, but even still, trying to find space in terms of this retake is going to be so difficult, especially with Mosey flanking. He should be able to dial himself in for at least a couple. Labor spray ball deliver nonetheless, and now they have to be cautious of the flank.
Yeah, really scary. I don't know, man. We need an individual to kind of pop off here. Chaos edging forwards. Can't find the frag. It's Kaze to get it, but, mainly Advent, right? And Mr. Canny, I don't even know that he's going to get that opportunity to save. There he goes. Rare Atom. Flawless rounds, man. They really are making the money. You can see we're only, 5-6 rounds in. Kaze, yet to die, and he's got 12k. So it just kind of goes to show how dominant this has been so far.
One of those things, I think you can say that, again, CatEvil, probably the best opportunity we've seen from them to find success in towards Nuke so far, and it fails to convert. And normally when I look towards Nuke and I'm casting it, I always say the golden number of 6. 6 rounds on your T side is good enough, I think, in my eyes. Of course, I think a pistol round is a massive help off the back of it towards the second half, but if you find 6 rounds on your T side of Nuke, I think you've done enough. And Rare Atom are 1 away already without any response.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, it really does paint the picture, to be fair. Nice find coming in from Ronan Baby early on. $125 left on the clock. I mean, it's probably the best chance at a round CatEvil have had all game. So they need, in block capitals, to convert this. Absolutely need to. Rare Atom, I think they know that fact. They're trying to sense a bit of tension here, hope that someone overswings to give them the return frag.
Yeah, man, disadvantage though. First time we've kind of seen Rare Atom pump the brakes a little bit. You know, they're actually kind of questioning, how do we actually turn this in our favor? But for now, not exactly the end of the world sort of scenarios. The Rap's coming through in towards Made. And show Made to be someone so difficult to clear, but at least to find main control.
Beautiful stuff. Jam Young with an opener again. Mosey, you're going to get one through the smoke. A tough angle to deal with, though, is Tanksy on high. 3 versus 2, therefore, needs trading, and there it is. Nice find. So, a bomb site somewhat secure. The bomb itself has hit the deck, though, and the CTs have got full control of that, isolating the duel onto Advent. Mercury up top, got to try and snatch this round away. He's been spotted, he's been finished, and there you go. CatEvil, thanks to the early opener, thanks to a little bit of heroics as well from Tanksy, they will finally get on the board.
Needed, right? Very much needed. I mean, already things in my mind were starting to get very concerning. I mean, there still is, to be perfectly honest. Not exactly like they're scot-free by any means, but it's better. At least we can see what they can bring to the table. And it shows how important that opening kill is as well. I mean, when it went to the man advantage in favor of CatEvil, they were able to just play the buddy system, play off the back of individuals stepping up, especially over towards A, with a nice one of that presence. Question is, how far can they take it going further? Mercury trying to take face with the Orbital Ronin baby. Other ideas?
Yeah, maybe they are, you know, kind of stuck now as well, right? They've gone for the quick A rush, a little bit desperate, a little bit predictable, you could argue. And all the kills go in the way of CatEvil. Flawless round. That's exactly what they needed after picking up the first, right? You want to make sure you're stringing them together, but doing so dominantly is massive. It gives you so much cash, so much confidence. And maybe we can see this gap start to close now. Rare Atom, they are back to the drawing board.
That's it. Well, as we stand, Rare Atom actually feeling the pressure just a little bit. A 4-buy, of course, to come out for them, but potentially could be their last if things continue on this current trend with them struggling to find success now on towards that T side. Now, of course, on the other side, if they're able to bring things back in their favor, they hit my golden number of 6 and things get back to a more comfortable state. But for now, off the back of this pause, I think Rare Atom understood, or are understanding, that they were once in a real position of control in towards this game in terms of tempo, momentum, dictating the pace, and now not so much. It's actually seen that CatEvil have kind of woken up a little bit, and because of it, causing issues.
Not what we want. Definitely not what we want if we're a Rare Atom fan. So we'll see here if this CatEvil side can keep it going. We've had time to talk things over. Rare Atom need. Money is very quickly drying up, bro. Like, honestly, they've only lost a couple rounds and it's just almost all gone. It is the way it so often goes. A lot of early utility here from CatEvil, expecting another A rush maybe, but not going to be the case.
Well, at least for now. Only bit of presence. Outside smokes to come through as well allows him that wrap through, but Mercury actually going to double back. If he can get hull control, this really changes things, but they're still going to test the waters over towards B. And Chaos, smartly, just going to fall away.
Yep. Is indeed a pretty smart move, but we'll see that B bomb site is about to get an awful lot of pressure here. Chaos down below. Deadly spot. Nade goes in. Oh, fair bit of damage, you know. They're not going to follow up on it, though. They're really, you know, just trying to catch someone pushing around. Mercury's got a lot of info outside. Maybe catch someone trying to go for a flank, but nobody on the CatEvil side is moving at the moment. Really, really static play here from the CT side.
And at the moment, they don't really need to, right? Because the longer they keep holding things and kind of pumping the brakes, the more it makes this CatEvil side kind of double guess themselves. Mercury's got such a strong position. He can cause so many issues. Question is, though, can he find a kill? He needs to. If he can bring the numbers in their favor considerably, it changes things.
Late A hit here with no Molotovs as well. I'm not sure I'm a massive fan. They've got the mini smoke going in. Are they dropping? Looks like they're dropping to me. Advent and the Molly, meanwhile, going to really throw a spanner in the works here. Jam Young alone. Coming through, there's a player down in the vent. Does get traded out. 10 seconds to get the plant in. 3 versus 2 with control of the B bomb site. Awfully close, though. Kaze with 16 HP going down that vent. If he doesn't get the trade, round is over. Tanksy's here pretty quickly trying to get... Oh, the wall bang. He doesn't know how close he is, does he, Mr. Canny? Meanwhile, helping clear things out. They are not feeling confident. They are going to move to save. Take the AWP into the next. They will be able to buy with this save, but all the same, Rare Atom have very quickly got the return round. Very quickly, they have figured it out. And CatEvil, they'll be a bit disappointed they couldn't get a few more.
Yeah, I mean, that really should have been it looked like a bit of a prime opportunity, right? As you mentioned, that lack of Molotov felt like it was kind of all kind of chalking up to CatEvil just being able to play off the back of Angels. I mean, they were making their way towards A. It looked like it was going to get dicey. The drop in towards Vent, though, again, that weakness has been so consistent. I think what we saw from Rare Atom is them just baiting out a lot of that utility, baiting out early doors as well, meant that in the late game, CatEvil didn't have a molly to spare to be able to deny them wrapping that back down in towards B. And with that being said, lead extended to 4 rounds once again. And of course, they're up to my lovely number of 6. So, Rare Atom, good in my books. And the way they play, you'd expect potentially even quite a few more.
Well, we'll see whether you've just cursed them a bit there, of course. The classic. Doesn't exist, but we love to throw it in.
Of course, of course.
They've got a lot left, though. We're seeing an outside execute come in from them, and I don't think that they've really gone for, you know, a fully fledged one like this with the L smokes and everything, right? So they are starting to expand the playbook a little bit and make CatEvil have to consider more avenues. You can see here Ronan Baby, and you could see what we see on the minimap. He does have support in from Mr. Canny, but there's 4 players outside. A couple of them have already made it down, but there is a good chance that Ronan Baby gets overwhelmed here. And the info as well starts to get a bit weird. He's like, oh, one's in mini, but he's not. He's just holding it. So CatEvil really pins it in, really kind of panicking a little bit, I think, in terms of what's happened here.
They're making them double guess themselves of kind of every sort of micro play being dropped out here. Once again, no surprises. Down towards that B side. Found so much success there. And that's why I'm coming through from Mosey. Will be responding with a flash, but there's the opener and looking for more. Won't be able to find it. Trade will come through. The numbers favor Rare Atom. It's a messy fight, and Mosey makes it a 3K. What a round from him. Bomb will go down. It's Jin left all alone in a 1 versus 4 to the deny. I think it's safe to say he's going to try and stay alive.
Yeah, they really had no idea as well that they were headed down towards the bottom. Nice find. Mosio with his 4K. Absolutely fierce. Going to grab an AWP as well for good measure, but... yeah, it's really Mercury in that round for me, because it's not necessarily the fact that, you know, he only gets the 1 and then he's instantly traded. 3 players had attention on that guy. You know, they spotted him a little bit, made a bit of noise. And of course, when he peeks out, they're kind of like, okay, we've got to make sure we support each other to find this player who's lurking about outside. And then, of course, he had backup, and the backup is mean. You do not mess with Mosier, that is for sure. Mr. Canny going to open up into this round, though. That AWP is purchasable. They pick up another one, and they will make sure to find the opener, but it has fallen very quickly, trying to get, you know, a crunch move going. It just doesn't happen for them. However, Mr. Canny, I wouldn't call him a genius for this one, but he is here pretty quickly, pinning the head of Mercury to the back wall and looking for a little bit more. His teammates are falling like flies. It's really not good for Mr. Canny, who's finding all these frags. Bomb going to make its way up towards A nice and quick. Beautiful stuff. A little awkward on the ladder, but they will get that 3 versus 2 plan.
Ladders are awkward, so I feel the pain. I do feel the pain. 3 versus 2, as you mentioned. Bomb will go down, post spawn to be set up. Bit of utility for Rare Atom, but I say just a bit. It's 3 flashes, 1 apiece across the board. Over on the other side, though, all the utility in the hands of Chaos here. Molly, smoke, flash. Has to try and allow Canny to find some space. With time dwindling, I think the early call has been made just for exit frags here. They're giving up an 8th.
Yep. It's kind of your only option, really. You know, we talk a lot about the futility angle. That's where a lot of kind of the saving comes from. I think when people are complaining about, you know, outsiders and it's trickling a little bit and it does work and all that. Boring is the, you know, kind of overused storyline with it. But I think a lot of it does come from the fact that it's like, why even waste the time, the energy, the money, the weaponry? You know, even if they do have cash in the bank, you see a lot of these saves because there is that angle of futility. You just can't get in, right? If you have enough respect for your opponents, you know that they do not drop this 4v2 where you have 0 information to work with. So you can get behind it. It does make sense. It's the efficient way to play. It might not be the most exciting for us, but we do get a few moments like this off the back of the half buys, that's for sure. Chaos going to go down to the AK, however. So a bit of a shame, and once again, outside, and therefore B is pretty compromised.
Worrying, concerning. It's been the story, isn't it, of CatEvil. I mean, it is just pistols for them to work with here, apart from one AK, which is no longer lived in this world. Oh, he's picking to looking for more. Just take a little bit of a pop shot with a no-scope. CatEvil drop Molotov. In a 2 versus 4, this should only go one way. The Deagle trying to make things messy, but the AK should be able to clean up house and should be Rare Atom up to a 9-round lead, or 9-round score, may I say, on that T side, which is just substantial. On the second most CT side of the map, not exactly bad, and same can be said for that shot. Bit of a corker there from Jin. He will pick himself up an AWP and a run away. You're high, Taylor.
Nice. Maybe he can make it away.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. Ah, flanked out. Yeah, he knew they were coming from behind him. He needed to get that front angle. Not going to happen, though. So that's a pretty big one, actually. They will be able to get an AWP into this round, but, you know, it removes a lot of cash and keeps the cosh on CatEvil here on this one. You know, really, again, kind of struggling with money and half buy and then buy again. They do have the double AWP setup into this one, though, Neo. How are we feeling about this? Yeah,
double AWP setup is... you know, it's high risk, high reward, isn't it? But I think, especially with how CatEvil have been now, they need to take a risk. They cannot afford to just play the standard style of play. There's the aggression. And the AWP on the other side, down and out. Needed. I think, as we were saying, you know, they need to change up the tempo a little bit. If they can't allow Reraton to consistently dictate the pace, and there's one of those AWPs put to very good use already and not traded.
Solid stuff. Really solid stuff, to be fair. Jam Young taking a little bit of a tag as well, so he's been spotted outside. Getting a lot of info as well as the kills. It's a very nice, shapely round for CatEvil. Once again, you know, we expect them to kind of convert this. Rare Atom have struggled at getting back into rounds. That is fair enough to say. They've obviously just done a very good job of getting their openers.
That's it for now. Chaos holding the wall. Peeking the right-hand side. Missed shot. Molotov in response, but I don't think he's long-lived for this world, to be perfectly honest.
Yep. Down he goes, but he's got support from the other AWP round the corner. And Mr. Canny, he certainly looks like a primary AWPer, you know what I mean? No offense to Chaos, but maybe panicking a little bit as he was put under pressure. Advent, it's dink for dink. It's unlucky. If he'd found that one cleanly, then maybe I feel like we're back on, but he didn't. So I don't think we are. We'll see, though. Bomb is, again, looking for a B hit. When is it not? Mr. Canny on a crack hold. There's actually nobody down here. So he is going to get the plant in. Running Baby's not going to go, you know, wildly quick on it. Mr. Canny falls, but so does Advent. All down to Jam Young. The hot rod of this team. And, well, Jin is going to upset our potential at a crazy Jam Young clutch as he just goes for the hold that Jam Young, I think, was not expecting at all. Might not even have heard it, to be fair. I think his own flash went off. HE went off. So I do believe that the sound of the defuse was hidden by all that. So unfortunate in the end, but not unfortunate for CatEvil.
Looking all right, isn't it? Looking not too shabby. I think for CatEvil, if they can get 6.5, that'd be awesome, right? I mean, it'd be really nice. I think it's probably not exactly the easiest goal, is probably the way I'll put it. I think for CatEvil, they've struggled to find consistency. Consecutive rounds have been far-fetched for them, and Mercury turning things back on their favour. He'll find Jin. That's a great open. Looking for more, but Ronin Baby, other ideas. Head of swivel. 5-2. Not quite 3 as Jam Young will trade. It's messy. It's chaotic over towards the A site. It's a 1 versus 2.
Good stuff. Looking really solid. Chaos going to get another, but he's taken down by Kaze. I thought he'd maybe just be able to get in, you know, find the space to get into cover, but not going to be the case. Rare Atom. Pace pickup didn't actually work for them in the past, but it has here. So certainly can't knock it, and of course it comes very quick. CatEvil, wasn't a lot of them surviving in the round that they did win, so they're right back to the half buy.
Hate to see it, but needs to happen. For now, though, I think for CatEvil, it's just about limiting how far they get away with this, right? I mean, just doing the best they can. It is really kind of it's tough to even build up narratives, isn't it, about saying in a positive note. This Rare Atoms are double digits already on a T side of Nuke. I mean, it's been brilliant. Speaking of brilliant, what a shot.
Yep. Pretty nice. Okay, we're getting quite a few coming now, to be fair. Okay,
oh no.
Tanksy on the Deagle is an absolute machine. Down to just Mercury, who's trying to keep the AKs away from his opponents. Not a bad move, to be fair. Oh, and the utility. Okay, so he is kind of conceding this round, that's for sure. But hoping that he can take a gun away, right? That seems to be his main goal here, is to make them as poor as possible with this one. I was going to say, not a bad little peek, but moving up those stairs is quite hard, as you see. Wall bangable as well. So CatEvil going to nick one away. That could be pretty massive in the grand scheme here, to be fair. You know, they move up to 4, potential to hit 5 once again. They are moving on to that T side. Still going to be a challenge, but, you know, it's always nice to get a sneaky one.
You got to say as well, I think for CatEvil, any round's a positive one, isn't it? I mean, anything is just a nicety, because it has been quite a rough showing so far. And this is kind of what we were building up that narrative earlier about what we were scared about. You know how good Rare Atom can be on Nuke, and they're showing it on the T side thus far. Great nade will come through, decent amount of chunk damage, and look at the space where Ronin Baby's found himself in.
Kinda nasty, looking good. First comes in and a second. A little bit disgusting outside, isn't it? I mean, where's that been all half, though? Those confident angles, confident positioning has not really been prominent for CatEvil, to be honest with you. And, you know, it's allowed Rare Atom to run a bit rampant in some of these rounds. They have managed to bring it back to a 3 versus 3, though. So maybe, you know, that's part of it, is because they just cannot match up on an individual level. CatEvil, a nice start, but it seems to have faded slightly. Mr. Canny with some great info plays, though.
3 versus 3. 55 seconds on the clock to work with. I mean, still definitely some time for Rare Atom to make it 11-4. They do have to make a decision and kind of pull the trigger. The bomb is very far away from a kind of ever relinquishing itself. It's a question of what do they want to do with it. I mean, they've lost lobby control. I think they'll be pretty understandable of that. Flash will come in towards heaven. I'm sure it's probably should be a double back towards B once again. That's where they found so much of their success over towards B. They might try and replicate it.
Got a lot of space down here. I mean, there is an AWP towards the bottom end of ramp that you can see here. Crack angle. Jamyoung going to join them via the vent. So they've got good info that there's, you know, no one around the vent. Probably someone towards the ramp. They got a smoke and a molly. Oh, that is a big drop, though. That's going to be the bomb hitting the deck with 5 seconds. Just got it in. Did Jamyoung. Oh, an attempt made to drop the bomb. Might just have cost them everything. Mr. Canny, he'd opened up on this retake. He's now got to find 2 more. Swaps across to the AK. Oh, God, so awkward. Jamyoung just messing him about, to be fair. Mr. Canny going to try and, you know, pick this up if he can, but they have really just split themselves up. Flash comes in, it's ineffective. Jamyoung goes down. Oh, 2 HP. The difference between 10-5 and 11-4. Rare Atom, they will once again hit the double digits. This time, they will get it over that line to the dangerous 11-4 scoreline. CatEvil, hell of a run back on the T side required. See you after the break. Yo, what's good? Welcome back. 11-4 at the turn of the half, of course, as noted. Pretty quick break on that one, actually, now. I feel like we've had some longer ones than that at the half-time. But yes, Rare Atom with 11 rounds. Looks like it might be a bit of a fast play outside. Oh, Kaze. Ruined by the P250. That's a nice way for CatEvil to open up.
Needed, right? Needed something special. There it is. Ronan Benny will be dinked down, and Jamyong trying to cause some issues towards our side.
Looks like he's doing it. Any more for any more, he says. Oh, got to be careful not to get overwhelmed here. Mosier also here. Too many targets. Jamyong still around, though. Again, looking for the head. There's two players in and around. Shooting through those grates can be very annoying. Meanwhile, Julie's following up in all the chaos. All the sound being made. Oh, God. What's going on? He's right on top of them. Somehow doesn't get both there, to be honest. And it's down to a 1v1. How in the hell did we end up here?
What a chaotic pistol round, to say the least. And look where we stand now. Well, 1 versus 1, doubling back. They're about to walk into each other's question of who can get the shots. It's going to be Tan Xiao Mei. As a 5th is collected for CatEvil. They needed a pistol round if they wanted any chance of taking Nuke. And there's the great start for them.
The long road of recovery here for CatEvil. But yes, it does indeed begin right there with the pistol. Will be the eco coming out from Rare Atom, so looking for that early rifle again. Pretty common trend, I think, amongst the Asian teams, and to be fair, a lot of the Western teams as well, especially on Nuke. Liking that early rifle buy. I mean, you know, it does change up the way that you play when you've got the lesser utility, but the strength of that A1S, man, when you can catch them with a couple Galils and a Mac 10s, they'll probably want to keep into the next round, right? And go for the bonus. You actually have a decent chance, weaponry-wise, to win most of those fights. It is indeed just what you do with the utility. And as we talked about, saw this in the first half, you just don't need as much on Nuke. You really don't need as much. Oh.
Okay.
Where's his support? Where's the voice? Oh my goodness, Jin with the spin around. Madness. Mosier could do some damage here, though. That Mac 10's pretty low. You know, you can see him scared to take the fight. A couple kills is not bad, to be honest with you, though. And, you know, they drop both the Galils.
Yeah, a couple of kills really isn't too shabby in the grand scheme. It's an investment of kind of the more minimal side for Rare Atom. Anything they're fine. Silver lining. It's a round which is more or less the throwaway. It's a cannon fodder kind of round, couple of minutes for us where we kind of know what's going to happen. Now, though, things change. 11-6 on the scoreboard, but a full buy both ways. A nice AWP in the hands of Kaze could be the difference maker, especially considering there's two Galils on the other side.
Yes, a lot of spraying going on early on here. Mercury needs to be a bit careful. I think he's sensing that it's kind of a fake on the outside area. You know, those smokes are a bit stagnated, all thrown by one person. They will still manage to find the first kill, though, on the Rare Atom side. Jamyong on high, dealt with. Back to a 4-on-4, but they've not really gained as much map control as they'd like. Kaze's here pretty quick with the AWP as well. I don't think they're going to be expecting this one. He might get a little unlucky and, you know, tag through the glass, or he might hit the flicks of a lifetime. Kaze, holy hell. A huge round from him. They deal with him, but the damage is already done. Mr. Canny's got to find 5 for this round. I mean, 3 is already quite the milestone for it, but on only 12 HP, surely no more than this.
I'm still in shock. What was that from Kaze? That first shot was nuts. That second just didn't even seem possible. Mr. Canny now needing an ace clutch. 12 points to do so. And the farmhouse holding, and the second he shows the shoulder, down and out for the count. Mercury will see him off. Clean things up as it is going to be a 12th on the board for Rare Atom. Or not scoot back up, but it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme because it has caused some kind of problematic implications over towards the T side. They won't really have the money to work with. Meters should be a pretty comfortable round in favor of Rare Atom. They're up to 13, pulling further away and further closer to the map in the series.
Okay, CatEvil, I mean, you're not expecting a lot out of this round, so not looking good, is it? Not looking good, to be honest with you. But Rare Atom, you know, it is, again, that domestic Counter-Strike, it can be very, very wacky. And we have seen some of these teams today and yesterday get a bit overconfident, you know, start looking towards the finish line when it's not really there. So totally out of the question for my money that CatEvil close this gap a little bit.
The scout can sort of tag him. Maybe the pistols can bag him. Let's think of the classic. But unlikely. Also, shotgun jam young at that sort of range, only going one way. That gun is busted. I'm a big fan of it. Works really well, especially against the pistols. Oh, Jin, don't you dare. He was tempted. Maybe he should have stayed there because now he's lost that position. Could have done double back. Can't find too much. A flawless round for Rare Atom against what is a minimal investment on the other side. CatEvil now going to fall by, and you've got to say, kind of, if they can't find themselves a 7th here, I think this map, the series, this game, done.
I'd be inclined to agree, young man. I would be inclined to agree. CatEvil kicking. You know, it's not a terrible buy. I'd like to see them do something with the utility. To be fair, right? I don't think we've really seen... We saw a couple outside executes across the course of the game, but we've not seen, like, you know, those classic fake outs where it's like, okay, are they sending 4 down? Are they sending 1 down? Really not seen an awful lot of that, you know? So, CatEvil, maybe if they can bring some of that originality into things, that guessing game into things. But I don't think they've heard me, unfortunately. It looks like they are just kind of resting on their heels a little bit, hoping to catch that early aggression. But there ain't no early aggression coming. Rare Atom don't need to make the moves. They can play safe, they can play smart. And indeed, it looks pretty damn good.
It's slow, isn't it? Just play on that kind of slower tempo. I guess on the T-side, they might have a fairly decent idea that they can control the timing a little bit. They need to be cautious. If they go towards Secret, they are going to struggle. So I say great flash from Tan Xiaomei means that Ronin can open things up.
Exactly what they needed. Kaze over on the ramp, got Mosier in support as well. Are they pushing? Oh, Mosier is. It's been red. It's been red. Oh, Jin, though, he just looks away at the worst possible time. Mr. Canny is clean enough with it. Maybe, though, that gives him the false sense of security moving in. Or maybe they're just going to keep this crispy aim coming. Mercury, what you got for us down below here pretty quick. Can't find anything. It's all just kind of falling apart a little bit. Advent. We'll get one, but it becomes a battle of survival, and it's not going to happen for him. They take him down. They find number 7. And there you have it. A gap-closing opportunity here for CatEvil, and especially, you know, a real difficult upset just kind of mood, I would imagine, in the Rare Atom camp, because they've had a player drop out on top of that.
Yeah, and that opening kill, it's so important, isn't it? You know, once they're able to find themselves into a man advantage situation, it really causes a lot of issues over towards Rare Atom, where they're spread a little bit thin. Unfortunately, though, we do have a tech issue, so we are just going to save you some time and throw us one to a quick break. When we're back, hopefully, soonish, we'll see you soon.
He wasn't lying, folks, when he said quick break, of course. Not too much of a wait there. Moving back in, we do have all the Rare Atom players back in. Love to see it that it doesn't take too long, you know. I mean, what is online Counter-Strike without tech issues at the end of the day?
Exactly.
What is LAN Counter-Strike without tech issues? I suppose it is the one thing. I suppose conventional sports has players getting injured or pretending to be, depending on what sport. And we've got tech issues. It's sort of the same kind of energy, right?
That's it.
We don't need extra time, but if we did, that's where it would come from. Nonetheless, minute and 15. Fair bit of time's passed from this round, and not an awful lot has transpired. CatEvil looking for one of those slow, fakey, info-starving secret pushes. Here we go.
Yeah, route coming through. This is something that Rare Atom exposed a lot of in towards their T side. Now it's a question of how do they fare up against it when their own plan has been used against them.
Nice pick up from Chaos. Advent tried to get down to assist. Oh, Kaze going to lose his head pretty quickly as well. Mercury was on the jump spot, but now all of a sudden it gets a bit panicky when that AWP drops with no kills. He's caught. He's caught so heavily. Ronan Baby, a nice little 2K for him. And Rare Atom have hit the wall. They've got plenty of rounds to play with, but they are really getting picked apart in the past few.
It's got to be a save call. I mean, look at the money over towards Rare Atom. It is dire. I mean, really a grim situation for them. 0 left in the rank for Mosey. He's got to keep that M4A1S ticking on the other side as well. You look towards kind of your Jam Young's nothing. Advent 50. Mercury's rich with 350, and he won't be able to buy anything. So it's going to be that kind of hero rifle in towards the next support to buy. In the grand scheme, not a lot, which gives a real good opportunity for CatEvil to find themselves up to kind of potentially 9, maybe even 10 rounds on the board and make this a much more even nuke than we sort of initially anticipated.
It is there. It is indeed there. The oh, yep. The gap, the opportunity. I don't know, man. What is 5 rounds at the end of the day? You look at it under a microscope, it's really only 3 rifle rounds in where we're sat, so maybe even just 2 to be fair. Depends on where the Rare Atom saves go. Either way, should be an easy 9th here for CatEvil. He says. Let's see what Rare Atom have got in store, of course. Nuke has been a pretty big proponent of these scary little pistol rounds.
Well, again, single door control seems to be a priority. Smoke will come through. A double stack here as well. They're just trying to use the kind of bait and switch. Pistol take the initial point of contact. M4 trades. Jam Young in a world of trouble, and he will fall.
Tough. Pretty simple. Pretty easy, but yeah, it is indeed a little bit tough. Let's see. A1S. I was ready for it to get activated. Not going to happen. Sanjao May not really struggling too much, keeping the spray nice and clean. 3 eco frags, you know, someone's got to do it. Kaze with his trusty D2K, him and Woxic keeping that gang alive. Nonetheless, he's not going to get anything.
And there it is. For now, it's a sort of expected round. I think it's probably the best way to put it. But in the grand scheme, you do get, you know, a little bit concerned maybe if you're a Rare Atom fan. Because the lead that was built up so far is starting to dwindle. I mean, it's not exactly like they're, you know, comfortably seeing off this map by any means. I gotta say, I'm concerned that, you know, this by falls flat, CatEvil up to double digits, they get ever closer to tying this game up. We could see a real world of trouble towards the end. Either way, a lot of util used towards our side and a lot of damage dealt.
Yeah, this is pretty good. Great spot as well, Mosier. You know, the old electronic spot. Looks good. He's getting spammed from all angles, though, and it's Chaos to catch him. Is that really worth them? We've got to ask. You know, a pretty hefty belt of utility dropped as well. Gets the drop. Pesky little one-way. Kaze, at the very least, has kept things even. So we'll see here. Jam Young down below is not the one that's really going to see the action. It's Advent that falls, and Kaze with the scout surely is just bloody useless from here. Trying to catch the bomb, though. It's just escaped him. If he'd gone for the run, he might have been able to pull it off, but he decided to walk in, and I mean, you know, safe is the way to go. Nonetheless, 3 versus 2 on the retake, and Kaze going to fall. CatEvil, some pretty convincing rounds here, I can't lie to you now.
That's it. I mean, they're looking just more confident, I think, probably the best way to put it. Dictating the pace a little bit. we've also seen how successful they have been in terms of getting that outside control. And it's so important, outside control, right? Once you've got it locked and loaded, you really have a wealth of opportunities and choices to be made off the back of it. Now, AWP collected, scooped up here. If this is saved across, it's a massive benefit, and it will be. No one actually going to be exiting out the way that Jamyung's posted up. So this can be dropped over towards Kaze. Only thing is, the support around it is pretty brutal in the grand scheme. I don't think they're going to be able to, muster up too much. A force around the AWP is a possibility. It's very risky, but it's something they could, opt to do. Maybe go for the MP9s, the shotguns, if they really want to try and, chance their luck with something. But I think it might just be a pistol buy, half armor, better utility, stay above 2K if they can for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's your only real option, to be honest. Kind of a tough one. It is really, really hard here for Rare Atom, I think, and, the reality starting to set in that, again, we might be in for a longer showing. It should have been kind of over by now in their minds. And we did talk about this, 13-6, great little scoreline before we had that tech pause and everything. You've got to be careful. You've got to be careful that you don't start setting your sights on the finish too early, because it definitely can come back to bite you in the backside, and that's what we're seeing a little bit here. We've got another pause in from them, a tactical one in nature, thank goodness. But all the same, they probably, at the very least, need to make the next rifle round competitive, because we've even been lacking that.
Yeah, I mean, this has not exactly been the greatest of times. I think it's probably the better way to put it. It has been it's been a pretty tough run for Rare Atom in these last kind of 3-4 rounds, where they really haven't had it or made it kind of too competitive. Now, Kaze, the only kind of weapon wielded here, he needs to find at least a couple of kills.
Yeah, at least a couple. What? Oh, he's not going to be able to get anything out of it. That's so unfortunate. Just missed out on some timings. Nice find from Jamyung, but dealt with instantly. Kaze is down in record time. But they're not necessarily following up off of the back of that frag.
Yeah, question, of course, what does he want to do with his spacing? If they kind of can force them, kind of pinch them down towards that B site, that's where we can maybe see Kaze find some form, find some success. If they wrap back towards A, try and pop through lobby, different story. And I think they are actually doing that. Very unfortunate. The idea to lock things out from, kind of forcing them in towards B was nice, but they're not going to play ball.
Nice. Kaze. Be careful, his smoke goes down. Oh, they're trying to catch him. But it's a good smoke, because there was a lot coming in from the squeaky door. At least they were planning to.
Oh, now they
still not up here. Kaze's still down. Feels like a lurk presence, doesn't it? That spam on the hut feels like a lurk presence, but actually the entire team's there. I think it's quite smart. I don't know that CatEvil have really just pulled off that little psychological game that they have. Great flash. Advent cannot do anything. Mercury with the 5-7 at the back of the site. Needed a bit more time, and he could have come away with something crazy. Nonetheless, bomb gets down in the nick of time. Kaze, low HP, will save this up, and I think Mosey is just sticking around for some exits, but it's that 11th. Picked up. There was a moment in the middle where you felt like the AWP could do some damage, but not going to happen.
Okay. They're making it expensive, though. I mean, this is a real kind of, I guess, a positive on the way out. If this door player falls hanger attack, and no, this retake's on. Bomb halfway ticked, and Mosey's wonderful play. What a world-class play there from Mosey. 3 kills to his name. He isolates it in a 2 versus 3. Kaze not even needed except for the defuse. What a round from Rare Atom. They have pulled off some magic, and it's all off the back of a wonderful showing from Mosey.
And there you go. That's why you don't save, guys. Even when it looks like it is indeed over, you never know. Counter-Strike is glorious, especially when it's pulled off like that. Magic from Mosier. And that surely has got to start to do it now, CatEvil. Mentally, how do you recover from that one? Financially, they're all good. Logistically, in-game, they're all good. But it is just the mental. It is the morale. That's so unfortunate. But again, you got to blame yourself a little bit, right? It's essentially a 1v3 that you're losing to an unarmored AK.
Yeah.
So there is definitely... Yeah, absolutely, right? He capitalizes on the opportunity, but there's also a little bit of internal strife, I'm sure, going on right now for the CatEvil players. Nice little one-for-one trade outside. Mosier's not going to get his crazy round in this one, but he's still showing his presence.
Oh, I mean, Molly will keep them at bay, at least for the time being. Mercury in such a strong position. If he falls round, kind of starts to seem like it's done. And surely Ronan got spotted out there.
Jam Young going to lose his head.
The bomb.
Tanjao Mei, yep, he's dropped the bomb. That is a little bit of a blunder, I think. 2 versus 2, though, still definitely on. Mr. Canny's pretty low, but, I mean, look at this setup. It's deadly. It's very difficult to get through here, I feel. We've got a nade as well. Mercury, come on, get it tossed now. You've seen that Molly come in. He doesn't want to get his gun away, though, does he? He could find them both there. Not going to happen for him. Nice little Molotov does split up the smoke as well. Makes it very difficult for Advent to run through. So that's nicely played on isolating him and at the very least getting the bomb plant hit. Oh, and it's a fake drop. Or is it? Yeah. It's a real one. Just hoping that the player was going to chase him down the vent and he'd get that knife kill. That's what he was after. But 1v1. Whoa, are you even going to get to see it? He's going to fake it out. Advent opens the door and Rhoda Baby takes him down after a bit of a quick switch around. Head on a swivel, as the saying goes. A big round to secure CatEvil staying in the game.
They're making it competitive. You've really got to give them the credit for them. I mean, with how one-sided the first half was, for them to have this ability to turn things around and at least make it a somewhat even ending on the way out of Nuke is all the credit towards CatEvil. Because on their T side, they are looking superb. Still not a done story, though. Bit of a mountain to climb. On the side of Rare Atom as well. Double MP9 to work with. Not exactly the dream investment around that AWP and the couple M4
Yeah, certainly true there. Certainly true.
Oh, hello.
Wow, that spam's got to be millimeters off of Jin's head.
Oh, my God.
Nade, though. Do minimal damage. Does a fair bit onto Ronan, baby, actually. Oh, no, that was a fight outside, I think. He knew he was there. Jam Young is pissed, to say the least. Like, you know, he knew he was there, but just could not find him for love nor money. And it will be the opener for CatEvil.
And of course, now we're going to go back over towards A. In towards lobby, showing a little bit of presence there. Could even be a wrap towards outside. You see one up towards Silo. Rotational come through. This MP9 in this sort of position has to come up. Spades of a couple of kills. Ronan, baby. Bomb in hand. 2 over towards single door. A split on towards A. Could work against them.
Yeah, very true, actually. Wow. Nice find from Mr. Canny, though. Monstrous on that AWP right now. Looking very good. They're going to go down the vent as well, where the B bomb site. There is a bit of presence down here, but it's quite far away, unfortunately. I think with that, they might move to save, keeping the lurking presence up top as well to make sure that the players, you know, are kind of locked in at the end of the day. Open an M4 to move through to the next. CatEvil really bringing it down to the wire with these rounds.
Surely there's no way in which Rare Atom don't see off this game. I mean, they had such a lead at the halfway mark. 11-4, I'm right in saying. And look where we stand now. We're only a few rounds to be picked up on the CT side of Nuke by Rare Atom. And CatEvil has found so much success. This has been a story of great performances on the T side, great ability to dictate the pace, control the tempo, all of the good stuff, and some real lackluster CT side performances on a map which is so heavily favored on the CT side. And often you get to say something like that. But CatEvil are within 2 of tying this game up, but on the same sword. Rare Atom are 2 away from seeing out the map in the series.
Yeah, I know, mental, isn't it? Absolutely mental that we are in a position like that, in a position to say things like that, but yeah. And the bounce back from CatEvil. To lose the 14th, it was that crazy little half-buy win from Mosier with the recovered AK. So, you know, fair credit to CatEvil to still keep it competitive. We thought that it was going to be done after that round, but no. Nice stuff from Mosier, though. Kaze with the perfect flash. That is about as good as it gets in Counter-Strike. Absolutely immaculate gameplay. And the 5-7 going to chime in as well. It looks like they have, with those early openers, found a way in.
Thankfully, they kind of were able to kind of turn things back on its head and Oh, that was looking a little bit dicey there for Mosey. He might be able to find himself into one pistol, getting problematic. CatEvil will see things off from behind. 15 rounds where we're at him. Very laboured to get to this point, I think it's safe to say, especially off the back of that first half. But nonetheless, they have managed to be within one, seeing out the map, seeing out the series, and continuing their flawless run here. We're at them in towards ESL Challenger League Asia Division. Gets to really feel any sort of pressure aside from this map alone. Here we are. 15-12, CatEvil, pause called by them. They need to and want to try and deny any sort of momentum ticking off to see this one over. They want to push towards OT. It isn't impossible, but it is quite a tough road to be able to tie this game right back up.
All right. They have indeed waited. They have indeed chatted things over. Here we go. Can CatEvil stay alive? Would be quite something if they could take us to overtime. I think already we're fairly impressed with the way that they've been able to run this one back. So more and more and more to do. Series point, though, as you can see, Rare Atom looking to get it in the bag. And as you said, you know, pick up another victory, stick towards the top end of the table, and, of course, still got a game in hand. They only played the one last week, or I guess maybe only started this week. I'm pretty sure we saw them with the 1-0 in the column already when we were looking at the group stage yesterday. So, nice pick up from Mosier. Of course. Nice second pick. Nice third pick up. Who is this guy? What's going on? Oh my goodness. Can't swap across to the AK fast enough, but he's just single-handedly dismantled CatEvil with a dry 3K. So damn good. Found in a punt, by the way. Oh, nice pick up from Jin. That is not an easy frag to get, but surely in this 2v2, there's just too much damage that's been done. We'll see.
Positive with a bomb in hard. Kaze. Great shot towards Jin. Instantly traded by Chaos. As Chaos is kind of thrown this round into a little bit of a rough time. 21 points of HP. Jam Young, I think he's got a pretty decent idea. Playing with the doors. Bomb will go down. Jam Young in a 1 versus 1. Full HP for him. 21 for Chaos. The doors are open. They know exactly where he's posted up.
Jam Young. He has to break the glass, though, in case of emergency. I'd say this is certainly an emergency, young man. Yeah, he's got a good idea, doesn't he? He's just not really sure how to fully approach it. Flash comes in. I don't think the molly's really reached. So he might think it's clear, but Chaos gives his position away. The nade doesn't finish him off, but the bullets do. Goodness gracious, he's dodged everything there, dude. He absolutely has done his damnedest to stay alive, but it just wasn't enough in the end. Not enough HP to deal. 2-0, 16-12 there in the end. But as said, on both maps,